having a good weekend. Some pretty interesting news today about Henry Cavill. I kind of was not expecting this, but I take it as a good sign that, a Superman movie and seeing Superman return to the DCEU, or they're calling it the DCU, is coming sooner than we expect because Henry Cavill is not going to be returning to The Witcher for season 4. So he is done filming season 3, but he's not going to be returning for season 4. Liam Hemsworth is actually going to replace him. So Netflix and Henry Cavill shared this. Henry Cavill shared it on his Instagram. The third season is expected to debut in summer of 2023. And then, of course, they're going to have the spin-off series. This is the message that Henry Cavill shared on his Instagram post. My journey as Geralt of Rivia has been filled with both monsters and adventures, and alas, I will be laying down my medallion and my swords for season 4. In my stead, the fantastic Mr. Liam Hemsworth will be taking up the mantle of the White Wolf. As with the greatest of literary characters, I pass the torch with reverence for the time spent embodying Geralt and enthusiasm to see Liam's take on this most fascinating and nuanced of men. This is a pretty big change because I believe they were planning on having like 7 seasons of the show, and until now, seemed like Henry Cavill was pretty committed to it. They seem to film the seasons like very quickly after one airs, except for when they had to stop during COVID stuff. But it says, for his part, Hemsworth said he is over the moon to be stepping in as Geralt of Rivia. Henry Cavill has been an incredible Geralt, and I'm honored that he's handing me the reins and allowing me to take up the White Wolf's blades for the next chapter of his adventure. Henry, I've been a fan of yours for years and was inspired by what you brought to this beloved character. I may have some big boots to fill, but I'm truly excited to be stepping into the Witcher world. Yes, so here at the end of the article, it mentions the 7 seasons that they were planning on doing. It said in the Hollywood Reporter's cover story with Cavill from November of 2021, so almost like pretty much exactly a year ago, the star said he planned to follow through with the Witcher series creator Lauren Schmidt. It's aimed to have the show last at least 7 seasons. Absolutely, Cavill said at the time about staying with the series, as long as we can keep telling great stories, and which honor Sapkowski's work, the author of the books. So, I mean, this is good news for the DC, for those of us. I mean, The Witcher's a great show, and I think he plays the role really, I think he's really good in the role, but it's definitely exciting to know that now he can get back to focusing on Superman, and they can get him in as many movies as possible, hopefully as soon as possible. We've been hearing that David Zaslav wants Superman to be on screen like as soon as they can, and they are supposedly looking for stories and writers to make another Man of Steel sequel. I mean, this is, because seeing that his return in Black Adam, we're kind of thinking, a lot of us might be thinking, okay, he's back now, but how long is it really going to take to be able to make another Man of Steel movie? Because they need to write the movie, get a director. His schedule has to be, free for quite a bit of time to film a whole Superman movie. So this is really good news. Considering, I don't want to say I'm glad he's leaving The Witcher, but it's good that they will be able to hopefully focus on Superman sooner rather than later. And there are some other projects, obviously, that he's doing, and he just got cast in another movie as well. But that, I don't know when that's going to start filming, but he must have really made this decision not that long ago. Well, I don't know, because if they already cast Liam Hemsworth in the role, then I don't know when he made this decision. It had to have been around the time that he found out that he was actually going to be able to do the Black Adam cameo appearance, because I'm sure that whole thing was, I'm not going to do the cameo unless I know that there's going to be a future with Superman. I'm not going to, that there's a commitment to Superman. I'm sure he wanted to know, and Danny Garcia wanted to know, that if there's not a commitment to the role to Superman, then there's no reason to do the cameo. So very interesting, and I can't wait to see more of Superman. just in the DC universe, because we definitely need him back. So very interesting. I'm sure Liam Hemsworth will do a perfectly fine job in the role, but it is going to be a little. It's going to be interesting to see someone else, because I think we've kind of, a lot of us have gotten used to seeing him, as Geralt, but definitely excited to have him back as Superman. I also want to share some statements that he made regarding the different Superman theme songs. John Williams' theme song is obviously incredibly important to the character. It's something which resonates with the character, and every time I think anyone in the world hears that, I think a large portion of the world who hears that will recognize it immediately as Superman and feel a certain way about it, and I do think it's wonderful. Now, he said, but at the same time, equally so, I think Hans Zimmer's Man of Steel score was just as wonderful. I have incredibly powerful feelings about that, because I remember watching the trailer, the first teasers come out, and I was sitting there with my friend, and we were both so excited about it. And the way the score plays, both are incredibly powerful in their own way, and both are just as iconic for the character. It was just such a pleasure to be back in the suit, whether it be John Williams or whether it be Hans Zimmer. They're both extraordinary artists. So, of course, I think we all expected that question to come up sooner or later, since he is coming back, and everyone's going to be waiting and wondering which theme song they're going to use in his next movie and when he has other appearances in movies. I'm glad that he, addressed both of them and explained how iconic and special both are to the character. And I mean, I think we're probably all hoping that they use Hans Zimmer's score in his own movie and with other appearances. But there was a good point that came up. I believe it was the Culture Nerd who brought it up. People were kind of complaining that, they used the John Williams score instead of the Hans Zimmer score for Black Adam, but it was very subtle. So it wasn't like this grand entrance with the song, it was very subtle. But I do think with the little amount of time that they had, the Culture Nerd pointed out a good thing to keep in mind is that they probably didn't even have time to get the licensing requirements to use Hans Zimmer's score in the movie, and that the way when they shot the film, the scene, which I covered this in the video when they kind of explained how the whole cameo got filmed, they just kind of used part of the song that they found on Google just as a test when they were using a stand-in for Superman to just get an idea of how the scene would go down, how it would be, and how it would look with Superman. So they kind of probably just had to use what they could. They had a very short amount of time to even get the scene done. So I think moving forward, when they can actually have time to plan things out better and know what they want to do and then they'll have time to do all those things and get permissions and all of that stuff to use what they want to use for his movie. I do think the Hans Zimmer score just works so well with his version of Superman. And it's nice to hear him kind of talk about how, like, that nostalgic feeling he had when thinking about that score, hearing it for the first time in the Man of Steel trailer. And so this is all just very exciting. I love hearing him being able to talk about Superman finally again, and I'm sure it feels just surreal for him just as much as it does for us, the fans. So thank you guys for watching. Check out the links in the description, any videos you might have missed. Thank you for all the support on the channel, and we'll see you guys soon.